Well, hello, and welcome to Preparing to Survive and Thrive Homesteading Channel with Charlie B. So, what am I up to today? Well, today I'm going to be answering that age-old question of what's for dinner. So, as I came around, I had set up a lot of my ingredients that I'm going to be making today, at least to start off with. Today, I'm going to do another recipe for a stuffed pepper, but I'm going to use different ingredients than I used the last time. My meatloaf's going to be kind of on the Italian side. So I'm going to use pasta in it today. So let me first tell you that we'll be using some gorgeous red peppers that I pulled from my garden today. So they'll be very fresh. And we're also going to be using some of my homemade tomato sauce and onions from the garden and oregano's from the herb garden. So, and it is dried. I didn't pull any of the fresh, which I should have, come to think of it. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that. I got a little bit of time to think about that. I'll surprise you when I start doing the ingredients. So, well, I'm going to bring you down and we will get into it. All right. Well, I'm over here at the stove. I got my skillet on. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to use some of my homemade tomato sauce. Now, if I hadn't dropped this jar today and the lid popped off, I would have probably cheated and used some store-bought marinara sauce. So our first thing we're going to do is put in 1 quart of our tomato sauce. I'll clean that out here in a second. I'm also going to put in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now you can do extra virgin or however you want to do it. As long as, you know, olive oil, avocado oil, a good oil that you like. Actually, this is avocado oil. I seem to like this one the best. So there's our 2 tablespoons. Now this, you really need to simmer about 45 minutes. In order to get the taste flowing and different things like that, kind of to marry the flavors, and just kind of let it cook down. So our next item is 4 teaspoons of fresh oregano. Now, if this is in the middle of winter and you don't have access to the fresh oregano, use dried and use 1 teaspoon. And 2 large garlic cloves, or I've got 4 different sizes. Now, you don't want to cut up the garlic cloves. You're just going to put them in. Next thing I used was an onion. And I took a nice size one. It's probably more on the large side. And I cut it in half, and then I cut those in quarters. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in the sauce. I'm going to bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to turn it down and simmer it for a good 45 minutes. Now, we're not breaking anything apart. We're leaving the cloves of garlic whole. We're just going to let them simmer in there, and we'll get right back to everything. So let me go ahead and get this tomato sauce scraped, and we'll be seeing you in a few. Okay, so we're getting this to a boil. If you don't have tomato sauce, or if you want to, you can also use just like whole crushed tomatoes and do it like this, and just add about a can of 28 ounces or, you know, a quart, whatever they come in. So you can try different things. But like I said, I might have cheated and just did the canned ingredients that I bought at the store, which is fine also. Sometimes you have to make your life a little bit less complicated. But I decided I'd go ahead and do that instead of that sitting in the fridge and possibility of it going bad. I also, with the onions, try not to break them up, because eventually at the end of it simmering down, we're going to literally pull these onions out, and those will be fed to the chickens. Okay, and the garlic will actually end up squashed up. So while this is going to simmer, get that adjusted on the burner a little bit better, and get it boiling good. Let all the flavors marry together. I'm going to put a lid on this and just let it simmer, like I said, for 45 minutes. Okay, and I'm going to bring you over here, and we are going to start working on the meat part of the double stuffed peppers. This is going to be good tonight. A nice warm meal for a cold, blustery day. Okay, now to make the meat in order to stuff the peppers. I have 2 pounds of ground beef. However, you can use whatever type of meat you would like to. Just going to kind of mess this up a little bit, so I can start putting some of the other ingredients in here. First thing is, I'm going to go ahead and use some fresh oregano and fresh basil. 1 teaspoon of each. And if you're using the dried ingredients, please use 1/4 teaspoon. The next item is going to be 3 eggs. Those are actually from my chickens. Finally getting eggs from the chickens. Yay, yay, yay. We're, to add a little side note, we're getting about a half a dozen a day. And if you want to know more, please check out the video on We Got Chickens, finally. But back to the recipe. Yes, I regress. Next up is I'm going to use 2 packets of the onion soup recipes. You can use the off names. These are on sale. That's why I bought the Liptons, not because I prefer them, because I really don't. I honestly think they pretty much taste all alike, but these were actually cheaper at the time than to buy the off name. I shopped the sales. Next item is going to use 1 tablespoon of minced onions along with the onion soup mix. Now, garlic is one of those things that you can kind of do it to taste. I will probably, this is, I can pretty much tell you this is going to be about 2 teaspoons. Yes, I'll get that little cake piece up there. I do like the garlic powder. It seems to work really well with meatloaves. Oh, let's add in some of our Italian style breadcrumbs. I'm going to use 1, 2 tablespoons. I'll start off with 2 tablespoons of the breadcrumbs, and then I'll increase it if I want it to be drier. And our next item is about 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. And salt and pepper to taste. So I'm just going to start shaking this. Some people like a little bit more, some people like a little bit less. Oh, did I mention I took the marinara sauce and stuck it on the pellet cook stove? Wood cook stove. It's both pellets and wood. Now, there's a good bit of salt in that onion soup mix, so I don't normally put a whole lot of salt in it. Okay. So we're going to get this all mixed up. I'm going to start off with a fork at first, and then I'll actually end up going to my hands. That's usually how it works. And that way I can actually tell if it's too wet or if it's needs more breadcrumbs, or if I have to add a little bit of water to make it not quite so dry. That's why I start off with the breadcrumbs and the lesser amount. Now with this one, because I'm putting pasta in it, I don't want it to be dry. I want it to be actually a little extra wet, so the pasta will actually absorb the moisture and cook them, because I'm not pre-cooking the pasta, the macaroni actually. Now next up, while this sits and kind of works itself together with all the flavors, I'm going to go ahead and clean up and remove the stem and the pepper seeds from the peppers. And then when you see them, they will actually be ready to be filled. Right, so we'll be back in a few minutes. Oh, wow, that marinara sauce smells absolutely amazing. So does this, though. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes. So we're back. So I went ahead and cored, removed the seeds and everything from the stuffed peppers, and I have already started putting the meat mixture in there. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm literally just taking this and I'm shoving it down into the pepper, and I'm pushing it all around the sides. I want to leave a gap in the middle, a nice hole, but I want the hole to not go clear through. I want meat to be on the bottom, as well as we'll try to do a little bit on the top. But I'll just be filling up the sides. That's why I leave these little lips hang over. And then we will be filling them up with elbow macaroni. And this is one great way to stretch your meat budget. And another thing, other than the fresh ingredients, I have all this stuff and at least double in my stores. So I can make this even if we're in a grid down situation for a longer period of time. And if I don't, then I would go to the grocery store and pick it up, add it back into my stores. Like right now, I went through a box of the Lipton onion soup mix. I have that written down. So next time I go grocery shopping, I'll go ahead and pick up another one of those just to keep going. Now, if I get lucky, I'll hit a sale and go ahead and pick that up. Sometimes I'll pick it up even if I don't need it, if we're having a really good sale on it up here. I only have 2 stores in the town I live in. It's Save-A-Lot and Giant. Now I can go 45 minutes and go to a Walmart and different things like that. But, okay, let me wipe off my hands and I'll be back. So I'm just going to go ahead and check to make sure I have the walls filled up. So I have hamburger walls or my meat mixture walls. Now, this is obviously not a vegetarian meal, but maybe you could do this with ground tofu. I don't know. I've never really cooked that much tofu, but this is a very good meal. And I'm glad I'm finally getting some peppers, even though it's October. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take some of my elbow macaroni, reaching across you. It's just this. It can be any elbow macaroni. It doesn't have to be anything. It's just what I had in stores. So now what you want to do, I can't tell you exactly how much to do, but you'll just want to put this so it's just not quite at the top of these guys, because we're going to add a little bit more meat up on top of it. Actually, no, we're not going to add any meat up on top of it. And yes, I'm dropping some of the noodles. I'm going to put my marinara sauce on top of this. And that's why I call them my Italian double stuffed peppers. And this will definitely stretch your meat budget. You can poke it in there if you want to, so it mixes in with the meat a little bit better. Okay, let me get my marinara sauce, and we'll get those onions out, and I'll smash up the garlic, and we'll bring you right back to that actually. We are actually on my wood / pellet cook stove. And here, I'm not going to bake it in this oven because it's not cold enough outside to warrant adding wood to the pellet stove to get it up where we're firing at a high enough degree that it won't take 3 hours to cook. So I'll be actually cooking this in my gas stove. It's like 57 degrees outside and the wind is whipping. It's not that cold until you step outside and feel the wind. So I'm just going ahead and pulling out the onion pieces. The garlic, when I find those, I will smash those up. It'd actually probably be pretty good to eat. I might just go ahead and throw a little bit of butter on these and also eat them tonight as a side to the double stuffed peppers. Oops. Yes, gotta get some of that, more of that sauce off of them. This really smells good, but like I was reading, apparently you have to literally simmer this for a good 45 minutes or more, and it's been simmering for about an hour, getting all the flavors to marry in. And if you miss an onion and when you're smashing them up, no biggie, just smash up the onions. And depending on if you use canned tomatoes or whatever, you can also run it through if you want it super, super smooth, run it through a emulsion blender. I know I don't always say that word right. Now this should be at least, after cooking it down and everything, at least a good 3 cups. And you could use this to put on your double stuffed peppers when they come out, because that's what I'm going to be using it for. Now there's my garlic. So I'm going to just smash that up. Isn't this entertaining, watching me pull out onion pieces? Yes, I know. Stop making jokes and get busy. Okay, so I'm going to finish this up and I'll get you back out to the kitchen. Okay. Move some of the stuff out of the way. And this is the marinara sauce all smashed up with the garlic and stuff in there. It really smells good. Really, really smells good. I tasted it. And yes, it is amazing. There is no sugar added to this. Now, if you want to add sugar to it, feel free to. You're more than welcome. It would be yours. So you cook the way that you want to cook. You put that over there. Sorry about the arm. I'm just going to take a spoon. This is one of those big serving spoons. I'm just going to spoon this in on top of, so you can get that one smashed up quite enough. That's an onion piece. That's all right. That was my oven kicking in, saying it was ready. So I'm just going to make sure that this has some good marinara sauce on it. Filling up the holes. Okay, our next item of business is I'm going to take some of the leftover meat, maybe all of it. I just tasted those. Wow, those onions cooked are amazing. So yeah, they'll probably end up in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rub myself. Oh, I'm going to roll myself like a little meatball and just drop it up on top. Now, you can also skip this step if you're trying to preserve meat. I'm going to just kind of tap that down. It's going to be an awesome, awesome dinner. Now, when I pull these out of the oven, I'll go ahead and spoon some more marinara sauce over them. And they'll be ready to go. So I'm going to cook them for about an hour on 375 in my gas oven. Okay, this actually kind of looks a little lopsided, so I'm going to fake it and put a little bit better right there. Okay, there we have it. So I'm going to get this in the oven. I am going to cover it and then put it in the oven, and we'll be back shortly. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm going to add a little bit of water into this just to help it not burn. It's probably about a ½ an inch up what it's going to end up being. And then I'm going to put the glass lid that belongs to this pot and put it in the oven. So it's been 60 minutes, and here we go. How about that? The meat's nice and brown on the top, even with the lid on. I didn't have to pull that out this time, which is absolutely awesome. Put that down right there. I got the marinara heating back up for us to spread this on. Now this is going to sit for a few minutes, and I'm going to get it plated, and I'm going to put some marinara on it and some mozzarella. So we'll be back here shortly. And here are our stuffed peppers with the noodles and everything in it. I'm going to get a little bit of marinara sauce on this. Let me get a better spoon. And oh, that's hot. Hot, 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 hot. And we got some freshly shredded mozzarella. And we got some salad stuff in the refrigerator. It's going to be good. So we'll get ready to do a taste test, but this is what it looks like so far. Okay, so here's my little plate. So I'm going to get myself a piece cut up. Make sure I get some pepper in there and some noodles. Now remember, this is what I refer to as the Italian stuffed pepper. And it will definitely help your meal planning go a lot easier. Plus, your meat budget will go further. So let's try this out. That is delicious. I'm going to put a little bit of marinara sauce on it. And the noodles, which I have to kind of dig them around here, find them again. The noodles right here are al dente. They're not real soft. I like mine softer, but everybody else likes those. They're a little bit what they refer to as al dente. But that's what they are, so everybody's happy. Okay. Oh, if you want your noodles to be more tender, like the way I actually like them, you'll probably want to cook them a little bit, maybe halfway. Maybe not even quite halfway, just a little bit more in order to make them more tender. So I like it. It's good, but I would prefer my noodles a little bit more. Okay, well, cannot wait to eat. Plus, I have a salad over there, just normal greens and stuff like that. So if you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. Charlie B signing out. I'll be seeing you soon, and I'll be cleaning up this mess.